After years of development, in the winter of 2021, the new upper stage of Ariane 6 is finally ready to roll, for now down on Earth. It has to travel 800 kilometers up the Weser and Rhine rivers. It's not an easy task for the freight specialists. The transport has a wide range of challenges, primarily due to the low bridges on the northern section of the route we had to cover. With the upper stage of Ariane, we had a height of 6.2 meters, while the bridge clearance was 5 meters. You don't have to be a genius to figure out that wouldn't work. We picked up a load of sand beforehand on the lower Rhine, 500 tons in all, which we used to get the upper stage of the rocket past the low bridges on the coastal canal.
Dann mit der Rakete Oberstufe die niedrige Brücken auf dem Küstenkanal passieren zu können.
The weather is good, but they're not out of the woods yet. The last leg of the transport by road won't be easy. Temperatures are well below freezing. The icy conditions are placing high demands on the freight forwarding specialists. Everything is in the cold grip of the ice. Have you ever transported a rocket over water? No. In a word, no. Bad Wimpfen near Heilbronn, once an imperial residence. Ariane is only scheduled to be here for a few hours. But there are complications. The container. The problem is the container has been on the ship for 2 weeks. Water, snow, ice. It's standing directly on the deck in the hold. In other words, if the container is frozen to the deck, we'll first have to free it. So we're doing everything we can to position both cranes for maximum lifting capacity. Then we'll begin. We'll try to lift the container, and then we'll have to see what happens, what with all the snow and ice. They loosen the coating of ice as carefully as possible. Eventually, the supporting frame is freed from its grip. All set to go, the Colossus is carefully raised out of the hold. What exactly do we have here on the flatbed? The mounting ring for the upper stage, the mounting ring for the rocket. That has to go first. And it's relatively light, but as you can see, we have to position it precisely. How light is light? About 7 tons. That's been dealt with. But Olaf, the truck driver, still has to wait for his load, the upper stage itself. 5 years of preparation were necessary to make everything go like clockwork. The logistics experts deploy a complex system to hoist the 58-ton container ashore. The convoy is scheduled to leave for the test facility in 12 hours. It's a race against time. Günther Hilber doesn't let himself get rattled. This isn't the first time he's had a spacecraft dangling on the end of a hook. We've had the Concorde on this crane, had a Boeing on it, an Antonov on it, and we've already had the Space Shuttle on it. It's always something different. For me, it's routine. Well, not exactly routine, but a job like any other. I don't worry about whether it'll end up in space someday. And now I can say to my son, I unloaded that. The angle grinder is used again. Then everyone crosses their fingers. Will the vessel finally release its hold on Ariane's container? There's a collective sigh of relief as the ship's belly lets go of its delicate cargo. Ariane is raised very gently and lowered again. Everything has gone well. Nothing cracked, nothing bent. The container doesn't have a scratch. The rocket inside is perfectly protected. Gradually, the rest is transferred ashore. But they can't set off quite yet. Traffic lights have to be removed along the route. It's no mean feat in this cold weather. Are you guys used to moving things like this? Yes, but we don't often have such heavy loads. In Neuenstadt am Kocher, the cordless screwdrivers of the transport specialists are all at work. The upper stage of a rocket can't be blocked by road signs, traffic lights or lampposts. Now they're making sure that all systems are go. They can't allow anything to freeze up, so they grease the safety bolts. Despite the difficult weather conditions, we've managed to get the container here, and we're looking forward to tonight, when we'll need 6 to 8 hours to finally move the upper stage, 10 meters long and 5.4 meters wide, to its destination at our facility in Lampoldshausen. It's winter, so it gets dark early, and the temperature drops even further. But the huge towing vehicle is warmed up and ready. The main thing now is not to run into any patches of ice. "580 horsepower rev up and start pulling the load. What may look like an easy jaunt on the road map becomes a marathon. The flatbed truck slowly heads out. The roads are closed for 26 kilometers. Ariane has the right of way. The rocket will later fly at speeds of up to 28,000 kilometers an hour, but for now it's moving at a snail's pace. The convoy has left Bad Wimpfen. The testing facility is waiting for the 8-ton upper stage of Ariane. How's it going? Great, faster than expected. Why is that? Probably has to do with our hard work and the skills of the driver. It's going extremely well. Do you often see something like this? Not so huge, but heavy transports fairly often. Is it exciting tonight? Yes, definitely. This is something special. Have there been any difficulties? No, it's been going smoothly. What's next? Let's hope it stays that way and we make it through all right. Good luck, thanks. Big objects require big tools to keep everything tight on the way there. They slowly ease past tricky spots. The snowplow operator is also keeping an eye on the road. He has plenty of salt with him, just in case. The vehicle towing Ariane has 8 gears and makes its way towards Lampoldshausen amid an armada of police vehicles and security cars. 300 specialists have come along for the ride. Traffic islands become nerve-wracking obstacles. They have to back up. And carefully inch forward again. The sea of lights from the convoy illuminates the night sky. These experts are confident in their abilities. No matter how difficult it gets, they have everything under control. The convoy moves forward, at least most of the time. Everything comes to a grinding halt at the intersection in Neuenstadt am Kocher. This turnoff should be clear, but a traffic light is in the way. Why have we stopped here? We have to turn the traffic light to the side. The cherry picker will arrive soon, then the screws will be loosened and the traffic light pushed to the side. Did someone forget it? I imagine the traffic light crews forgot to turn this one. There are several companies involved, and somewhere along the line they got their signals crossed. Does that mean you're running late? No, we have until the early hours of the morning, so we're doing fine and are right on schedule. How long do you expect it to take? Well, we still have 2 tight spots. One is the Kocher Bridge here in Neuenstadt, and then the village of Bürg. I can't say how long it'll take. We'll see if we have to make several attempts. But my guess is that it'll go well, and we'll be there in the early hours of the morning.
Tippe mal, dass das ganz gut laufen wird noch und dass wir also in den frühen Morgenstunden noch da sind.
The traffic light crew get to work. While waiting for things to roll on, the transport specialists from Bremen take a close look at a traffic island and level out some tricky patches. Any lurch or jolt is to be avoided for the sensitive upper stage of the rocket, even if it is well cushioned in its cradle. Thick rubber mats and mobile slabs help smooth the way.
Komplett auslegen?
Ja, auf der Seite brauchst du gar nicht mehr so viel. Ich glaube nicht, dass ich da... Mach mal nur diese Seite. Weil ich fahre hier hoch und fahre da hinten wieder runter.
The traffic lights are finally out of the way. Ariane's driver, Olaf Wilke, doesn't show any signs of stress. Is everything okay? Yeah, with the traffic light out of the way, we're back on track. You're moving pretty fast. Well, we want to get there. A gentle turn to the right and up over the traffic island. Ariane is designed to soar hundreds of kilometers up into space, but now the task is to make it over a 20-centimeter high bump on the route. The team mustn't get anything wrong here. No tilting or wobbling allowed. Ariane has to go round the bend smoothly and safely. As each obstacle is overcome, another lies ahead. The logistics experts have filmed every corner of the route and surveyed everything in advance with a special vehicle. It took 5 years to prepare for this job. 12 kilometers to go. The biggest hurdle still lies ahead. Everyone has to keep cool, taking it slow and easy, checking the road inch by inch. Ariane advances slowly but surely. Every move counts. Olaf, the driver, feathers the accelerator as gently as possible. Ultimately, it all depends on him. At times, everything hangs in the balance. But the axles hold up, and so do the tires. Now comes the biggest challenge of all, the old bridge over the Kocher River near Bürg. Everyone knows it's going to be very tight. But everyone also knows that, according to the calculations, there is enough space, just enough. The key is to get the angle of approach right. Even though everything has been checked over and over again, there was no way to do a test run. What counts now is experience and skill. Everyone has in mind the old saying, "It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle." Here, though, it's an oversized container that has to cross a narrow bridge. Too tight. Back up and try again. The commands are brief and precise. Confusing chatter over the radio would be unprofessional. What may seem like a miracle actually boils down to skill and nerves of steel. This time it works. Ariane can squeeze past with just a couple of centimeters to spare. Not even a bent railing. The transport glides forward, centimetre by centimetre, as if it were riding on rails. Getting stuck is not an option. The team check everything, again and again. Success. They've crossed the bridge without so much as a scratch. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief as the roadway widens. They've made it through the eye of the needle. But there are still challenges ahead in the village of Burg. The convoy slowly makes its way uphill. Things get extremely tight again. It's quite a spectacle. No one here has ever been this close to a massive state-of-the-art rocket before. At last, the convoy has no more built-up areas to negotiate, and it reaches the DLR test facility in Lampoldshausen. It's well past midnight, but there's a lot going on here. Ariane 6 is the newest addition to the European Space Agency's rocket family. Its upper stage has finally arrived, and soon testing can begin. The journey comes to an end at the new test stand. Mission accomplished. The managers report that, aside from the cold snap, nothing noteworthy happened along the way. Everything went smoothly, with no accidents, injuries, or collateral damage. Just some cold feet, that's all. Later, in the light of day, the unloading will begin. It's daylight again. Ariane wakes up. Many team members only caught a wink or two of sleep, but bright and early, they're nevertheless wide awake. 100 technicians, engineers and transport experts are waiting for the final act at test stand P52 with all their tools ready at hand. When you're reversing into a parking place in a curve on a steep icy road with a 58-ton payload, it's best to clarify all the details of the maneuver in advance. To make sure everything goes smoothly, heavy-duty equipment comes into play once again. One more balancing act. The container is hoisted into its final parking position. Everything is in order. The rocket stage can finally be assembled. Curiosity mingled with excitement. Everyone knows this is a historic moment. They gather round as the rocket motor rolls the final few meters to the test stand on a specially designed track. The head of the rocket test stand is delighted that the upper stage has arrived.
This is something special for us. We're used to handling large, complex engines. For example, we also tested the Ariane 5 main stage engine here. But this is an entire stage, which means it's not just the engine, but all the tanks too, and the onboard computer. We're testing this entire system, and that's really special.
The technicians manually crank the rocket stage out of its massive cocoon and over to the transfer point. The rocket experts move it into position for the final decisive step. Erecting and placing Ariane 6 in the test stand is like a carefully choreographed circus act on the trapeze. If a problem arises, we have to see what kind of problem it is and what we can do to address it. Many things could conceivably go wrong, but we assume that everything will go according to plan. Of course, we have measured everything in advance. A complex choreography is required before Ariane is securely attached to the hook. It's carefully tilted into a vertical position. Before lowering it into place, final assembly details are examined. The sensitive tanks are given protective pads. Then it's time to go. The rocket stage rises in the early evening twilight and heads over towards the test stand. It's time to put everything into place. Despite all this advanced technology, it still takes human dexterity to finish the job. The technicians gently move the rocket into its final position. Now the pride and joy of Europe's rocket engineers has a home. It's successfully completed the move from Bremen to Lampoldshausen near Heilbronn. The DLR rocket testing facility is more important than ever for Europe. High spirits at the testing center, precision work right to the end. We can't practice this, we just have to get it right first time. Everything is in its place, right down to the last screw. On Earth in Lampoldshausen, Ariane 6 has completed its first mission with flying colors.